We gotta do some technical analysis today, guys. I think it's about time. I think it's about time we get started. Whether you're new to trading, investing, this is stuff you gotta know. More importantly, this is the best time ever to know technical analysis and how to work the markets. Especially because we haven't truly been able ever to work the markets because they have been controlled, they have been manipulated. Yeah, it just makes sense. You know, I think if I was in power back then, I'd probably do a similar thing, considering what was in it for me or and a bunch of my peers. Who knows, right? We're dealing with a brand new, unmanipulated, mathematically precise and accurate market that is the most bullish thing we've seen since like the dot-com boom. It's going to be a lot more transparent. It's going to be a lot more obvious what moves it's going to want to make. And our job is we just got to understand people and what they are thinking when they look at a chart. Yes, we look for a chart. We're trying to figure it out. We need to figure out what people are thinking, not us. You got to try to imagine yourself as the masses sitting down and what are they seeing and what are they planning, most likely. Sounds complicated, right? It's not. Especially since going through crypto charts. But let's get into it, right? Bitcoin. Let's start the daily chart, guys. I'm gonna clear everything. Awesome rise, guys. First of all, we need to figure out why it rised. Why it rised so much. We're taking this low to high here using our fib retracements. For newbies, that means all you want to do is play trends. If something is going up, it's not a straight line. Up, retracement, up, retracement. Same for going down. Right here, up, retracement, up, retracement, up. So this came up, we take the high to low. It hits the 61.8, which is the golden Fibonacci, and shows a lot of sentiment that it does not want to go through. Came up, reversed, broke 38.2, didn't break through the moving averages, boom up. So our play would most likely be down here. In fact, let's see if we could have caught this. I'm just curious for myself. So this is that little W we're looking at. Damn it. Well, this might be divergent, but I don't know. So it makes this retracement. 61.8's right here, right? 61.8's right here. Doesn't go through. People pick it up the first time, had pending set there. This broke through, made a new high. Continue making new highs. And then came down and made this W a little above the 61.8, and it was on the averages on the daily. This is obviously divergent. We'll get into that once I add TDI to my chart. I'm getting pretty specific. Bitcoin's a little more. Bitcoin's easier to grab because it's a lot of people are predicting forever bullish, right? And I sure hope so. And most people just had pending set through here and picked it up. And so the next play for Bitcoin is to do the same. Let's go back to the hour. We'll clear everything. Take this low to high. I don't know what's happening to my indicators, guys. We don't need them. Okay. So right now what we're looking for, Bitcoin can keep going up. Right now it's still dancing above these moving averages. Heck, we have this aggressive trend line here. It could retrace back down here for sure. I mean, the world's its oyster. Everything's looking good. We just aren't seeing like a prime retracement spot to get in yet. Let's go to Ripple. Guys, Ripple. Congratulations to Ripple people. Man, you guys are awesome. You guys, some millionaires made already. I love it. You got to root for people, man. We're on the people's team in this game. So I did have money in Ripple. Let's clear this out, right? I'm going to quickly sketch this up. What happened? We had this low to high to Ripple. This is when it exploded to like, I think it tipped at like 23 cents. Came down, rejection off the 61.8. In fact, a reversal pattern. Since then, it did not go lower. New high, retracement. Buyers picked it up. And it's still going up. It's beautiful. What really happened, and this is what we have to start thinking about. Buyers get in here. They get in around 61.8, right? They're like, all right, our first take profits to the nearest high. It gets up here and they're holding. They're like, man. Oh wait, dude, I'm not even telling you guys the good stuff. I'm sorry. It came up, retraced, right? Look at all this bullish volume and look at all this unmatched bearish volume. Yes, this came down. These candles are scary. In fact, wow, these two red candles are bigger than any of the previous red candles, or green candles, in fact, right? That's just retracement being made. Throughout this, hitting the 61.8 and keep going up, making this trend line, not breaking this trend line, bearish volume not showing up. The real players who put in all this volume right here, all this volume, they didn't decide to show up yet there because they were not sure. They were not sure that, oh, maybe the sellers want to take it down one more time. But they knew that once this came up, broke this previous low or previous lower high and wicked really hard and then just stayed flat until this touch of the trend line, that's when the volume came back. And this is pretty. Because this is where the banks come in. When you see these big breakout moves, that's when they come in. And how do they know? When it hits their retracement target, stays above the trend line or moving averages without sellers wanting to come in and bark about it. They just want to make sure that if they put in all this money, they don't want to have surprise sellers coming in, and this kind of ensures it. And, well, the sellers just didn't come in. They just waited, and that worked out. So that's what's happened. All we're doing now with Ripple is, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. This can keep going up like Bitcoin. You can just keep going up. Doesn't matter how far. Yeah, it's in its first take profits right now, it looks like, for some people, but obviously there's still buyers. Or this could come down, retest this zone, demand zone, right? Supply and demand, it's the same thing as support and resistance. So just use the wicks, and if it makes sense, it makes sense, and it just makes sense here. This come down, retest back up. Overall, heck yeah, congrats, Ripple. I know I made some off you. See it here. I'll wait to draw the fibs. All right, next. I have Stellar up here, guys. I like Stellar. Why? Because this huge rise, bearish, and this is doing the same thing Ripple was just doing. The same thing. Ripple came back down, made a trend line, didn't break through the 61.8, which was right here, remember? What's happening here? I'll go ahead and shut up for a second. Just kind of look for the obvious signs. I mean, yeah, we have the obvious rejection off the 61.8. In fact, it makes a little W right here, or triple bottom. Bearish volume didn't show up. People with the pendings, you know, they get a lot of people get in here for sure, especially when they didn't see as much bearish volume show up. It just makes sense. It's just kind of common sense, right? broke above 31.82, came down, retested, and so many bullish pendings got hit and just zipped back up. Sellers don't even want to mess with that now, as you can see. Keeps on making these higher lows, higher highs right here. This may explode. Same thing. This hit the 71.8, but I bet you if I draw this down to the candle body top, hey, that's more clear. That's more clear. Obviously a lot more bullish volume. Sellers not showing up. So I don't like this as much. Let's instead just do this. Break retests, keep going high. I'm seeing this go high just like Ripple did. It's doing the same thing. Let's go to Ether. Ether's a fun one. This is the daily on Ether. Let's draw this low to high. Mother. Ether came down. Obviously a lot more bullish volume. Came down, made a W off the 38.2. Bam. People started coming in. Made a newer high actually. Came back. This is so cool. Yeah, you guys gotta watch Ether on the daily. This is so much more clear than what I was looking at in the 4 hour. Made new high, right? What happens when price for some makes a new high? People are gonna want to catch retracements. We do. We just want to make sure it's an appropriate timing. Let's draw a low to high to this. Look at that hit to 61.8 and all those pendings get hit and it zips up. Buyers are here. Buyers have also decided not to really show up like they have, and they most likely will, just like with Ripple. And especially if this stays above this trend line, stays above the 61.8. Made this little head and shoulders divergent, if I remember right. I would just keep watching this on the daily because this is going to scare people. And this might go down one more time. And it's a little more scraggly on the 4 hour. So I would stick to the daily for now. And yeah, this trend line's play. This made a new trend line right here. That's trying to play with. Ether looks good on the daily, guys. And that's where a lot of the money's made. We'll see if the buyers show up soon. Ether USD is a lot more nice. It's a lot more nice. Why am I not just looking at this? Let's take the nearest low to high. Came down, wicks up 38.2. That's all we need to know from the daily, it looks like. Yes, drew this zone here off that wick. Came down 38.2. We'll see what it does with this pennant. It's still very bullish. Buyers haven't come in since back here. Buyers have not been in. They've been picking up these buys right here off this trend line. But I think the explosive players are about to come in because it just looks like everything's ready to explode. And then there's Litecoin, which is kind of ugly. But why is Litecoin ugly, guys? It's because I think we'll take this. it just hit its retracement target today for this most recent daily rise, low to high. It's just hitting it. Made this head and shoulders. It could break a little lower, right? You get trend lines. So we got confluence off the 61.8 here. Let's make that 61.8 more prominent. I'm going to make this zone. And we'll see what it does off that. Wait for reversal. If I were trading this for the daily retracement, if I get one more bullish reversal pattern like this, just Google them. They're good to know. The obvious engulfing patterns. In railroads, hashtag Steve Morrow, hashtag Diet Coke. Let's see it go up. NEM is making a name for itself. Daily rise. It's rising too much on the daily to make play, so we go 4 hour. I took this low to high right here. Yes, and I put it at the top of the wicks because that's where it showed exact resistance to the 61.8, which is, I think, what most people are looking at when they have traded this, invested in this. So I do see a trade right here, for sure. For sure, for sure. Really though, when this closes back above the 38.2, we may see a lot of buying momentum. But okay, change. So this rises, right? So much bullish volume. The bearish volume does not compare. It's pretty obvious. Everybody else in the world with the billions and the banks with the billions as well are seeing this, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty obvious. This looks like your move. And they zip it up right the 61.8, especially after it made a little W, right? W. And right here, I think, is where the rest are going to start getting in at before it booms. Especially if this closes above this trend line, let alone above the 38.2. This looks good for NEM, guys. Dash. I don't know Dash that well. People are worried because it started making this M move. Like, it's a divergent M. And I love divergent M's. But there's divergence out there that that doesn't count. That doesn't count. And that's when, if something makes a rise or plummets harder and faster than it has in like recent or near recent history, let alone ever in cryptocurrency example, but there's always going to be divergence when it retests that higher low, because of course it can't unmatch this historically new move. So it's not true divergence. It's not true to get in this yet because it's a divergent M. But what are we mostly seeing? It looks like we're mostly seeing the same things we saw in Stellar and Ripple, which are the most obvious plays. And that's it. Wicked freaking hard at 61.8. Obviously more bullish volume. Keeps going up. Stays above this trend line. Breaks the recent lower high it made. So breaks up above here. Comes down for its retracement. Wicks at the 38.2 already and the trend line. There's a confluence touch right there. And we're looking for one more bullish reversal pattern. And then I think all this volume comes back. I may have to move some money around for this soon, huh? Burst I pulled up because it kind of exploded recently, but I didn't like it too much, I think. Yeah, we just need more moves, and buyers didn't have pendings here, though they may have pendings here, so we'll see. So we'll come back to that like tomorrow. I like Doge because it's freaking cheap. Daily, it's been rising, obviously more bullish volume. That's all we need to know. We took this low to high, bouncing off the 61.8, created this zone. Buyers have not come in. This shoots up. That means it made this big W. So this is what I'm predicting. This will start going up. Maybe form a trend line, it'll keep bouncing, and then its final move. It's kind of my guess. It's not a good trend line to put. Yeah, this used to have a really sloppy one, but it was way too aggressive. We'll just wait to see if buyers come in. I hope they do, because I mean, it'd be fun to have Doge currency, I think. See a coin, simply took the most recent low to high on the 4 hour. It's pretty obvious. It's trending. It's staying above this trend line. It's creating reversal patterns off this trend line. The volume is starting to come in. We would have to see a lot more sellers come in than what previously have. And right now we're not. This is looking to explode up as soon as today. For sure. You guys see what I'm saying? Let's see what happened. Okay, so this is fun. If being a counter trend trader is pretty stressful because the moves are quick and you can miss your exit really quick. So they come in and they figured out this was the right time to take a counter trend trade, and buyers are like, okay, go for it. They take it down 61.8. Heck, they closed right at the 61.8. They were like, yeah, if I go lower, it's just gonna get snatched up, and people start taking profit. And that's where the sellers said goodbye, and they haven't showed up since. This is looking to explode up. We have steam. Oh yeah, start marking up. So same thing as we've seen a lot of things. Here, let's make this more clear. Low, high, bounce off 61.8, made a W off the 61.8. Holy crap, I see an awesome trade here. Explodes up, breaks the previous high. You know, you see some trend lines, you know, kind of through there-ish. Whatever, it breaks above them. It breaks above whatever it was under. It's coming down. This is where a lot of people start to get in at the retest, guys, or at the retracement of. Why is this a retracement? Because this broke this recent low. This made a higher high, or sorry, recent. This was technically a lower high compared to these other highs, right? In a way, this explodes up, makes a new one. Look at that! Look at that explosive volume with. Oh, okay. This is time to get in. Low to high. 620. This is pretty cool, guys. Yep, seeing this go up. This breaks above and stays above this, let alone the 38.2. We're gonna see this explode. Go steam. And last one, like Digibyte. I put $5 in right here, and so I'm kind of happy today. Off my. Wait, I gotta see how much profit I have right now. I don't have much money, which is why it's funny to me. So I've made $7.50. Haha. Digibyte. It's gonna be fun because we're gonna be looking for this first retracement. Look at the 4 hour. Oh, well, you're waiting for that retracement. Never mind. All right, is there any else from the, look how much the market has increased today, guys. It was at 54 yesterday. Oh, man. Is there any other, Monaco? XMR. Let's see it. Why is this in the top 10? Because it's expensive. Only 9 million poured in today. I immediately don't like this super amount because this is a trade in the making. This is definitely a daily chart trade. It looks like this is still going to retrace a little more. Broke that high. Let's say we drop it from here, right? That's 61.8 right now. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's it for this one. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens, I guess. Let's look at 4 hours and see if we see anything more promising. We'll see if this makes a W here and wants to go back up there, but no, I'm not seeing anything right now for that. So a lot of good things happening, guys. This is the time for young people. This is the time for technical analysis. This is the time to understand people. And we can fulfill ourselves in like any way through this, especially with cryptocurrencies. And I'm excited. I'm just beginning. I'm just getting this out there. It just helps me do it. It helps me vocalize my thoughts on what I'm seeing, because this is just too exciting right now with so much potential. I'm only 21. You're probably 18. You're probably 25. You're probably 55. We can make so much money in just the next 3 years. Not having to sit and wait on Bitcoin to hit 300,000. But there's a lot of opportunity here, guys. Start of the future. We got to be a part of it. It's pretty cool. I love you all.